Good evening from the Second Age of Reason. We're here to talk about planning, conspiracy, strategic planning, and whether or who you are, in what role the planning takes place. Now, as people, there are a fair amount of people that really don't plan. Their life is spontaneous. They take the path of least resistance, and that is the way they are. And it's okay for some, but most people like to at least have some kind of a plan, a goal. And so, let's say, for example, we'll call it Plan A. And you'll do Plan A, and it's like you're sailing a boat, and you want to go northwest. And if the wind is from the south and the east, you're all right. But if the wind is from the northwest, if you're trying to go northwest, well, I think you're going to have a different plan. And if you only have a Plan A, you're going to be very frustrated, maybe even angry. So some people know about that eventuality, and so they have a Plan A and a Plan B. And it's saying, like, well, if there's a wind from the northwest, what are we going to do? Well, you can probably do some tricks in sailing to, go some ways to the west and then go some ways to the north gradually, back, zigzag it. That's kind of how I remember it when I was taking some sailing class once. And so there's Plans A and Plans B. But let's say the boat sprung a leak, and you put it off a dock, and you could see, oh, this isn't seaworthy. So Plans A and Plans B don't mean a hill of beans. You have to have a Plan C. And as you can imagine, the progression continues on. You may need a Plan D or E. Sometimes I think it's better to start at Plan Z and work your way back. You'll get to the answer quicker. And that's the way it is with people. And so there's also businesses, companies. And then there's businesses. And any business that's worth its salt has at least a Plan A. They never do the path of least resistance. Unless, of course, you're selling like lemonade and that sort of thing. But anyway, they also could have a Plan A and a Plan B and a Plan C. But what about government? Government has, they legislate it. They'll come up with a Plan A. And then it'll go in a negotiation and it'll become a Plan B. And then it'll go back and it's like, no, we don't like Plan B, so they come up with a Plan A.B, and it's kind of halfway between, or maybe a Plan C. But then eventually they don't do anything until they agree on this plan, and then they do it. So it's as if it's only a one plan. So if it fails for some reason, it's too bad. And we have a lot of that in our government. But there's another case of where people say, well, what about other things in life? The way society is going, the way the governments are going, the way the banking system and finance goes. What's that? Well, I think in that case, some people call it the New World Order, that they have plans A, B, C, all the way through Z. And even if you have a counter plan, they have a counter plan. They've thought about most eventualities. And I think you have to realize that. Even though they had there's a concept called the theater of the oppressed, was a marvelous idea, and it was excellent when it first came out. I think governments and the powers that be have learned it. And so it's become, not as much effective as it was when it first came out. But I think you have to bear that in mind, is that you not only know this stuff, but they know this stuff. And so you have to think of, what do you really want to do? What is your end result? And that's what you have to strive for. And the strategy part, A, B, or C, It's just the way to get to that result. So I think you need to think about that, because you're going to be going towards a result, and somebody else's plan B is going to be taking you off course. And as long as you plan for that, you can use it to your advantage. So that's all I have to say for now. Keep on planning, and we'll be seeing you.